On April 4, 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty was signed. Treaty members realized that real peace is more than an absence of war, and they seek to promote political and economic stability in the North Atlantic area. To ensure this, they are sworn to stand together against aggression. An attack against one would be an attack against all. This union of 12 nations became known as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or more simply, NATO.
It's the world's oldest and most successful military alliance of democratic nations and celebrated its 70th anniversary this year. Yet, despite this longevity, it currently faces serious and complex challenges, both internally and externally, to its purpose, unity, and even its existence. The economic and military might of old foes, China and Russia, are well known and ongoing, as they have been for decades, and are always keeping NATO on its toes. Yet there are developments occurring in 3 European states that are rocking the NATO stability boat. These NATO allies have undermined their own democracies in varying degrees that is having a stark effect on NATO and its core values, namely democracy. According to the most recent Freedom House report, these 3 states' scores represented some of the largest one-year declines in political rights and civil liberties of all 195 countries ranked. In Turkey, Erdogan caused waves by rattling the NATO alliance when pursuing a deal to purchase the S-400 missile system from Russia. This led to the US proposing sanctions and Turkey threatening to close down a US airbase in response. Then, in October, the Turkish army, NATO's second largest, invaded Syria to destroy the Kurdish autonomous region. The French president criticized the Turkish military's offensive, prompting Mr. Erdogan to report that the French leader had a sick and shallow understanding of the alliance. Over in Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban denounced the European Union as an empire and became Putin's closest EU ally.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is visiting Budapest today to meet Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. The two leaders share a common disdain for Western liberal values and have maintained a special relationship, even as the EU implemented sanctions against Moscow over Russia's annexation of Crimea.
In 2014, Orban awarded Rosatom, a Russian state-owned nuclear company, the sole contract to build 2 nuclear plants in Hungary in exchange for a €10 billion loan from Moscow. Since then, Hungary has become an increasingly autocratic and pro-Russian state. Another NATO ally that has descended into a populist dictatorship is Poland, under current President Andrzej Duda, who has been in office since 2015.
European Union leaders have watched with alarm as Poland has reduced the independence of judges and the press.
The mounting authoritarianism in Hungary, Poland, and Turkey likely poses the greatest internal threat to the NATO alliance in its history. In November, Emmanuel Macron remarked that the Atlantic Alliance is currently in a state of brain death, going on to question the alliance's mutual defense clause and the commitment of the United States. Before being elected as President of the United States, Trump labeled NATO obsolete and has several times put forward plans for the US to go as far as to withdraw from the alliance, according to his aides.
NATO, in my opinion, is obsolete. Maybe NATO will dissolve, and that's okay.
As 2019 draws to a close, the big question for many in positions of power around the world is, what future lies in store for the once mighty NATO as it enters its 8th decade of existence? Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this every Friday.